Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about Xbox 360 emulation on Android with not the fake Xenia, but a completely different app altogether, one that's currently in development. Now this one hasn't released just yet, but it appears it's in an early development stage and some things are starting to work. It is based on Xenia and it's by the exact same developer as APS3E. Unfortunately, we don't really have a whole lot to go on right now, but it does seem the developer is trying to get Xenia working on mobile. At this point in time, it's way too early to tell how Xenia is going to run on Android. I'm curious to see if they use the same method that they did with APCS3 with RPCS3 over to Android. I'd be very curious on this one overall, and they have a title here. It's a good start, isn't it? And I would say yes. I would say this is already in a better state than Xenia. We're going to have to wait and see what happens moving forward on this one and give the developer time to cook. And I am curious to see if there's going to be controversy surrounding this one or if they're going to open source it from the start. I mean, it is based on Xenia, so it technically should be open sourced from the start. And speaking about open source from the start, next up we're talking about a fork of MelonDS on Android that is designed for external displays. Now we've talked about this one a number of times and it just got a brand new update to version 0.1.1. For those who may be unaware, if you didn't already guess by the name, MelonDS is a Nintendo DS emulator, and taking a look at the new features for this update. One is preserved DS aspect ratio on external display. There's a new setting to maintain the original DS aspect ratio when using an external display. It prevents distortion or stretching on TVs or monitors. And the second thing they've added is ROM playtime tracking, so MelonDS now tracks total playtime per ROM. Playtime is displayed directly in the ROM list beneath the ROM title. And there are some bug fixes. MelonDS is 100% free and open source. And if you're interested and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below at the bottom. I don't hide my sources. And speaking about open source, kinda, or mostly, next up we're talking about Nostlan, which is a nostalgia launcher. Now this is an emulation front end, similar to something like Launchbox or Simple Launcher or a bunch of different other ones. And it just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 3.0 is the latest update, and with this update there's improved UI animations, faster downloads in parallel, and multi-threaded image processing, support for WebP and AVIF image formats, 80% reduction in size of Nostlan's graphic assets, same high quality, and converts images to WebP on the fly, reducing storage footprint. Now this is, it's a paid front end, but there is a free demo available. For those wondering, the cost of Nostlan isn't that expensive. It's $15 overall, and it was in the top 500 in paid tools on itch.io in July, which I would say is very impressive. And speaking about impressive, next up we're talking about Virtual Boy emulation on the Nintendo 3DS with Red Viper. We've talked about Red Viper a number of times in the past, and it just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, version 1.1.0 is the latest update. And this one has a very interesting point in it. There is a difference between Red Viper on a regular 3DS and a new 3DS. They say here, this release improves the software renderer and enables it for test chamber on new 3DS. This fixes the issue where black walls may appear transparent. The old 3DS is not fast enough to run a software renderer, so it is not enabled there. So for the new 3DS, I would say this update is exciting. For the old 3DS, I would say, well, maybe not so much. They do say, though, there is an alternative solution that could work on the old 3DS, but it is not yet clear whether this solution is viable. Crazy to think how slow that old 3DS is. Anyways, here, let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And speaking about crazy things, next up we're talking about Wuchang Fallen Feathers. And this game just received a brand new update, patch version 1.5, that may have arguably killed a lot of interest in this game. The game right now on Steam has a mixed overall review score, which I think is going to go down from here. Because taking a look at a lot of the recent reviews here, and they are negative, specifically talking about patch version 1.5. For those wondering, full details of patch 1.5 are up on Steam right on their community hub for the game. And taking a look at this, anyone just randomly taking a look at this would think that this patch may be a good thing because there's been a lot of tweaks, changes, and improvements. However, there was one change that a lot of people do not seem to be happy with. So the one change that is, it's got a lot of people up in arms and is being talked about in a number of different places online, and that is censorship. And it seems that this patch has been dubbed the censorship patch. At a super high level, this patch prevents players from killing many of the historical figures in the game, which changes the entire plot in the process. And it seems there's going to be more optimizations or changes to come. Now, these series of tweets are being talked about quite a bit from game modder Lance McDonald. And Lance says, like actual censorship due to pressure from Chinese players who are upset about being able to kill historically significant characters from the end of the Ming Dynasty. Players are reporting that the pray gesture has been removed that you previously learned from the Portuguese Christian character in the game. And the entirety of Chapter 4 is now insanely easy because 50% of the enemies are now non-hostile to the player, and you can't attack them during Rebellion Outbreak. They also say here, one of the most difficult and epic boss fights now ends with the boss no longer dying, but instead saying it was all just a trial, and actually the path you were on is good. Now, what I find even more interesting about this entire situation is that the motivation or rationale or reasoning behind these changes seems to be a mystery. Lance goes on to say here, all posts of these changes on the official subreddit are being deleted by mods. They have to lock replies on all their posts because people are asking why they made all these insane changes. Steam forums are full of Chinese players laughing at the pathetic attempt to please no one. And then Lance says this, and just please remember details right now are scarce, at least for me. I can't seem to find a whole lot of detail behind the rationale of this stuff. So this may be true, it may not be true. But anyways, Lance says this isn't the Chinese government that forced the changes. Wuchang is quite pro-government. It's to please fringe groups of nationalists. I don't really understand the details. Now, I'm just speculating here, and I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that this may be one of those cases where the voices of the few are louder and outweigh the voices of the many. If that is the case, if these changes remain to be unpopular, I would assume that sales of this game moving forward are going to completely plummet, and it may spell the end of the game. And speaking about game, next up we're talking about Game Boy, or Game Boy Color, and a very interesting project that I think looks super cool. A transparent Game Boy Color with a transparent PCB. Now, this is not AI. This is 100% real and amazing in my opinion. I mean, look at the beauty of this thing. Look at the beauty of that clear PCB. Unfortunately, this is a one-off project. The creator of this made it specifically for themselves. But I'm guessing there could be a potential market for this one. I'm guessing there could be a lot of people who are interested in having something like this. Let me know your thoughts about a clear Game Boy Color, a truly clear Game Boy Color with a clear PCB in the comments below. And speaking about cool stuff, next up we're talking about a game that's releasing on September 18th, and that is Platypus Reclayed. You may have been interested in Platypus from like 22 years ago, and now they've completely remade this game and called it Platypus Reclayed. It's coming out for Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. From my understanding, this game is not just a normal remaster, they've reprogrammed it from scratch. Let me know your thoughts about this one. There is a demo already available on Steam if you wanted to check it out and learn more about it. And continuing to talk about arguably cool stuff and learning more about stuff and videos on YouTube. Next up, we're talking about a new video from Modded Hardware. And this one goes over a brand new PS4 exploit, a Blu Ray player exploit that works, it's a jailbreak that works up to firmware 12.02. If you are interested in this one and wanted to learn more about it and see it in action, Modded Warfare has you covered. And again, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below. I would say this may be exciting to a number of people. I mean, taking a look at the comments on this one, and there seem to be a lot of very happy people, a lot of people giving thanks. And a lot of people commenting stuff like this. Finally, almost 2 years without updating the PS4 finally paid off. And continuing to talk about exciting stuff and videos on YouTube. Next up, we're talking about, I would say, a very exciting game that's about to hit early access. So we have just talked about Platypus Reclayed launching on September 18th. Well, launching on September 19th here is Ratatan, and this is a sequel to Patapon. It is worth noting here I just said sequel, and I probably should have said spiritual successor. I do not think sequel is the right word, so scratch that and we'll just go with spiritual successor. Anyways, if you're a fan of Patapon, you're probably going to be a big fan of Ratatan. And this one is already on Steam in demo format, and early access has just been announced for September 19th. Now, for those wondering, Ratatan is a side-scrolling roguelike rhythm action game, and it's got an online multiplayer co-op for up to 4 players. I have a hunch that if some Twitch streamers see this game, it may become a smash hit. I mean, if you take a look at it, take a look at an online multiplayer setup with, I guess, up to 4 players here, this game could be a lot of fun. I, for one, am looking forward to it. Now, if 2D games are not your thing and you prefer 3D games, well, this one might be up your alley. This one is releasing on September 5th here, and it's called Tokyo Underground Killer. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. I think this one looks absolutely wild. I mean, the styling on this one is crazy. I think one aspect of this game that people may be excited about is the price. This game is going to be priced, I think, at about $10 or $9.99. And overall here, this one looks pretty wild. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. There is a demo already available on Steam if you wanted to check it out. And speaking about Japan, I mean, we were just talking about Tokyo. Next up here, we're talking about Crap Dungeon. This game was not supposed to be called Crap Dungeon, but it was accidentally listed as Crap Dungeon on the Japanese Steam store. I guess there was some sort of translation error. The game is actually called the Crazy Hyper Dungeon Chronicles. But Crap Dungeon has a good ring to it. Now, the developer on this one did say it was a very amusing translation error, and it's not actually called Crap Dungeon, and the game's not actually crap. So I guess they are going to be fixing it on the Japanese Steam store, and right now on Steam, there is a demo available. The game is releasing on October 23rd. I would say it's worth checking out the demo if you're interested in games like this that are arguably not crap. That is just, if it was me, I would have just kept the title and just rolled with it. But let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And speaking about not crap, last up here, we're talking about a couple of games on Android that have just launched and may pique your interest, and they're already extremely popular. And that is Enter the Gungeon and Exit the Gungeon. Exit the Gungeon currently has over 50,000 downloads, and Enter the Gungeon currently has over 100,000 downloads. Now, some people may take a look at these games and see the install button for free, and also see in-app purchases, thinking this is going to be a free-to-play, microtransaction-filled game. And that is not the case. Both of these games are free demos with unlimited plays. And to unlock the full game is a single purchase, and I think that's a great approach to take here. Let people try out the game for free, unlimited times, and if they want to play the full thing, it's just one single price. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.